Okay, great. So then we can call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the ARPA Commission, and it is our first meeting of 2024. It's January 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Roll call, I think it probably would be good to go around the table, just because we have some new people. Although,
You wanna
Yeah.
start?
Stuart Cobb.
Pete Tanaka.
Stuart Fisher.
Milas,
Robin Campbell.
Chris Pizzato.
Erin Cote.
Mike Moon.
Great, so we definitely have a quorum, and we definitely,
Well, for now, I gotta leave in like 5
5 minutes, but we still will, because,
Okay.
I think we're only missing, a couple people. Can't think of who it is at the moment, but whoever
Samantha. The EDC, yeah, Sam Hills
yeah,
comes from EDC.
right, yeah, you don't fill the EDC
No.
seat, yeah, so we're good. I think, the minutes from September 18th and October 2nd were online. I don't know if everybody had a chance to read them, but if you did, we can entertain a motion to adopt them. No?
Anybody?
It's a long
All right.
time ago.
Yeah, I know. And that was the last times that we met, and basically not much happened in those meetings because we closed a few things and we didn't approve anything, since then. But that's, we can move on. I'll try to send it to everybody as a download to make it easier to read. All right, so quickly, I wanted to go over the history of the ARPA Commission mostly for Peter's benefit. Because you haven't been here with us the last 2 years doing this, and.
Thank God. I mean, Thank you.
Yeah, so as you know, our commission was created by ordinance,
Mhm.
and we're probably the only town that has this exact makeup, because it's a very unique, special thing that was created, especially for us. And the idea was because we were getting over $2 million in ARPA funding, to create a commission that could accept requests for the money, to sort of vet it out, and to have a place where some people were keeping track of it all. And mostly this commission is made up of people who represent different departments and different interests. And back in the beginning, when we had a lot of requests to go through, we had some very long meetings. We had a lot of public hearings. We have gone through a whole process of, determining if some of the projects were, we had a lot of criteria of why a project would or would not be approved. And where we have ended up is that there's probably 40 projects that have been approved, probably 20 something that have already been completed and done and paid for and we're done. And then what we're left with is what's on this list, which is, still over 10. I haven't counted them, but, things that are, still open. And we're anxious to close them, because then we'll know exactly how much money we have left over. And then we can either, we want to spend that money, and we have to appropriate it by the end of this year and spend it by the end of 2026. So right now, some of these projects, there might be $20 that gets returned. Some, there could be tens of thousands of dollars returned, and others might need more money, because they went out to bid and came in back, with it being too low, that was approved. So what we are gonna do is go through them all and get an update, try to understand where we're at and take it from there. And then the other thing that I wanted to do today was set up our calendar for the year going forward, because our previous calendar was that we would meet twice a month on the first and third Monday at 1:30, and then our public hearings were as needed. But I think we found that we're now at the point where we don't need to meet twice a month. We might not even need to meet once a month. So, so I just wanted to see what people thought about that. Maybe we go to it every other month, schedule. So, so yeah, so that's the history of ARPA. Do you have any questions?
I do.
Okay,
So when it says like ARPA 47 facility study,
yes,
that I'm assuming that there's more paperwork than just facility study involved.
yes.
And where can I find that?
Well, okay, so that was submitted by the Board of Selectmen. So so we do have like a paper submission.
All right.
Like a PDF that I can give you.
That would be nice.
And
Thank you.
also there's probably the minutes from the meetings where it was discussed at the Board of Selectmen meetings, because they would have had to agree to apply for it,
Mhm.
before it was submitted. So there's probably,
Weren't all the projects submitted electronically into the
Yes.
permitting?
yeah, so
system as
we
well?
have it all in like in a database. Mike set up for us.
Mike, I'm just gonna get them directly from you, that way I don't have to do as much research.
Yep.
Yes, and so that the selectmen have the facility study, which started out, if I remember correctly, we were wanting to look at some things at the library and then realized we had issues at the fire stations and issues in this building. And the idea was to have a study that sort of looked at all the buildings and see where we're at with everything.
All right.
And then I don't know where, I haven't heard anything about, like, if, I don't know if it went out to bid yet. I don't know.
I think the only clue they had is, Mansfield had done one, and they had a vendor
Yeah,
that did that, so they were gonna talk to Mansfield in terms of the scope of the project, the involved the vendor.
Well, that's good to know, seeing as I have to meet that guy in like 10 minutes,
yeah,
so.
good.
That's
Ask them about it.
about as much as I know about it, but
No, that's more than.
that's kind of where the concept came from.
Yeah. And let's see, there is one other board of selectmen one. They told you.
I think it's the meeting room equipment,
Yes,
and it looks like it's in, so I don't know. Where we
yeah,
are with that.
that one, Donna, do you know the latest and greatest on that one?
There's still a little bit of money to spend on that.
Do we have something to spend it on, or
I don't know what the
do
plan
I
is.
throw a party?
No, I don't know. It's,
If you did spend it, it has to be on electronics related to the meeting.
I don't think that the facility study, I think that we discussed reserving funds for it, but I don't think there was anything submitted. The last submission that we have through the portal was ARPA 46, and that was tagged as ARPA 47. So I think it was discussed as a potential expenditure, and they said, can we reserve the funds? But
Right,
I don't know that,
okay,
so it would be we could look through the minutes, but we don't have any additional documents.
okay. You're right. So yeah. There's money that was sort of earmarked for it. But it hasn't been fleshed out.
I've got a facility that needs studying.
Well, yeah,
But similar to the school study that they did, was the MCOR study, it was a very detailed building by building, system by system of, say, the furnaces need this, the ventilation needs this, the drainage, and so on and so on.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, so, let's see. Donna, do we have anything to close that you know about?
did we close the flags and ornaments?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
Very much for your time, folks. I gotta go.
All right, I'll be in touch, Peter.
Oh, good.
Get you somewhere. Yeah, it's ARPA 33, and the last we knew was $3,418 and $49 spent. I don't know if that's what that says. That was a few months ago.
Yes, so I showed a total of 6,500 fully spent.
Okay,
Some of it in 23 and then the balance in 24.
okay. Okay, so, if I were to make a motion to close ARPA 33, with no funds coming back, is that the way it should be worded?
Yeah.
Okay,
Second.
any discussion about that?
Yeah, if I can talk to that,
Yeah.
yeah, we expended all the funds. As a matter of fact, we overexpended in, the foundation paid for some of it. But, the response that we got from the town was incredible. Memorial Day, we got probably 40 or 50 people came up to us and said how they enjoyed it, how well it was done. And on Veterans Day, we had, because to buy, that we used the funds to buy, we had over 300 people attend Veterans Day,
Wow,
which was a 3-town event that we hosted.
wow,
And, we're still getting people coming up every day. They'll come up to one of us and they'll say, really enjoyed it. It was great. It was fantastic. I mean, the upshot of everything was what happened is exactly what we wanted to happen. To expend these funds, people were feeling good about it, and
mm-hmm,
it worked out really well. It
good,
really did.
that's great to hear.
And it did give us the funds to take and do repairs on a lot of the, monuments and stuff like that, which we did. Those are all done.
Awesome,
So it was good. It worked really well.
great, well, I'm glad to hear that. That's what we're hoping for. With all. Anything else? Oh, we should vote.
Yeah.
All in favor, oh, did you want?
No, just all in favor.
Okay, yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Right, it passes. So that one will add to the close list. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else?
I'm not sure about ARPA 41, which was the stove for the seniors.
Oh, right, and we were just talking about that. So you all can help refresh my memory. I think the last time we talked about it, I think we thought that the stove issue was resolved, in terms of buying extra pots and pans, but Ed is
No,
saying
what happened was somebody gave us a couple of large pans that do fit. But the half pans that we had that they use for the other things, we can't put two together in the oven because because the oven's just a half an inch short, it's not half an inch shorter in the width than the old one was. So we can't use those pans, so we have to use these big pans anytime we wanna use it. What I was looking at was replacing the small pans, the 4 pans, which we're not talking a big expense, we're talking $100 for the pans.
Mhm.
And then I was also asking for the extra griddle to put on the top, because, after the last breakfast, we did have a successful breakfast, the stove worked fine. The only problem was it took us longer to make the omelets and stuff, because the area that the new griddle is on is a little smaller than the old one was.
Mhm.
So if we were to put 2 griddles on there, we'd be able to, the person who's cooking would be able to get out of the kitchen sooner and maybe join the rest of us outside.
Right. So.
And that's a little over $100 too. So we're talking maybe $200 or $300 at the most.
Okay,
Is there enough money for that?
Yes. Right, but I thought the conversation was that the pans and stuff weren't exactly the stove, so, right? If I remember correctly, I haven't been to a couple meetings.
But the thing was, getting the new stove, we had to make the stove useful. In other words, we were replacing something.
Right,
If we replace it and we can't use the facilities the pieces that are there that were with the old ones, then you have to get new ones to go with it in order to make it useful.
no, I get that, but what I think, if I remember correctly,
yes,
using the library for an example, they wanted, I forgot what it was, something. And then they needed something else, but they didn't apply for it, so we kind of had to turn them down and told them they had to reapply for more funding. Which I get that you guys need to use your stove and stuff, but how much money is left from the 6,500 that the stove?
No, it wasn't 6,500.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
yeah, it was
It was-
6,000.
6,000.
3,000?
Six.
6,000, right, it was 6,000. There was, after we were finished, there was a little over $1,000 left, I think.
I had $900 left.
Oh, that's good.
Um,
But shouldn't they like close that out and then reapply or? Right, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this. What if we just made a motion to have it include the stove and accessories?
I'm totally fine with
And then
that.
we just say
Yep,
yes.
yep.
to it.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, there will be money coming back because there's no way I'm gonna spend all of that.
Right, yeah, it's not really about the money, it's more about
Like the
the
process.
process because
I
of,
understand.
you know,
I understand.
so. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and make a motion that we add the words stove and accessories for senior center to the request so that it could include some of these accessories that would make the stove useful.
Okay.
All right, any discussion about that?
I'm a little confused. Was never a true up done with
Was it what?
a true up? What you spent, what you actually spent?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
$5,094.88.
All right, so there is actually $900 left.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And do you have specific things? I heard you talk generally.
No, there's specific things. What we're looking for
But can
is,
you give us an amount of what you want to spend?
I can't give you an amount, the exact amount because I'd have to go online to do that. Because these,
So not to exceed?
well, these prices change.
Well, can you just give us a not to exceed
Yeah,
$500?
Yeah, but you can't exceed the nine
Yeah,
hundred
you can't
dollars.
exceed your 900.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the
Is that what we're
the
talking
extra,
about here?
the extra griddle is $110 and the pans are probably $100.
I just want a barrier of it, that's all. So not to exceed $6,000,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, you wouldn't be exceeding
So that
this.
should be in, okay, that should be in
Um,
motion.
Oh, well, it already is approved for 6,000 total.
All right, so everybody understands that in the room.
Yeah. So,
Repeat the motion, please.
okay, so the motion is simply to add to the project name, the words and accessories. So that it's okay to pay for these extra things that go with it. So right now it says stove for senior center for $6,000. They've spent $5,000. They want to spend a couple hundred more. And we previously said they could not use that money to buy the accessories because it wasn't in the original ask. So that's all. So the motion is just to add the words and the
And
definition.
these items are specific to the stove. They won't, in other words, these, like the griddle will not go on another stove. It fits, it's specifically for that stove.
Okay.
All right,
Cooking accessories.
Right.
so are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Right.
Anyone opposed?
Just so you know, we had close to 100 people show up for breakfast at the last breakfast.
That's
So
great.
it's growing. And that's why I'm back here, because I'm worried if we're not able to speed up the cooking in time by doing this, that we're gonna have people waiting at the door.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
next one?
What's that?
When's the next breakfast?
February 10th.
Awesome.
Is it every month?
Our
And
reporting.
they are raising the prices, believe it or not, because the cost of food is going up. We're hoping that people don't balk. We're gonna be raising the prices to $7 from $5. But still, $7, where can you get a breakfast like we serve?
I know where you get one for
Yeah.
$4.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that one is,
I will get those ordered and turned in so that you can close this at your next
awesome.
meeting.
Thank you. And so so we have an update on that one now too. We don't have to talk about that one. All right, now, so the other things that are on this list, like the senior center coordinator position, that is just gonna run itself out in this fiscal year, right, at the end of the fiscal year?
Next year it runs out, next,
Okay,
it's a 3-year thing, and so there's gonna be a little run.
okay,
Yes, it's gonna
Yeah.
close itself out.
yeah, so that one, there's gonna be nothing left over.
Yeah.
All right, ARPA 1718, the walking track improvements. Do you know what's going
Say that
on?
again?
The walking track.
Yes, I do know.
Yeah.
Gave you an update too.
An email?
Yeah.
I didn't-
So the status of the walking track is Carl is still working on the plans. He tells me that by the end of January, the plans will be done. That'll be a hallelujah moment. And then we can go out to bid. So we're looking at 2024 being a very impactful year for construction on River Road. Some of the lighting held it up. He's been talking to Mike D'Amato. Got a head shake on that? All right,
Yep. Mhm.
everything's going all right? We weren't sure if we had to go to P and Z for lighting. Has that been defined?
It will be a permit through the office, not through the commission. Just through me, so that we have a record of when it was permitted.
So you wanted to go to P and Z?
No, to me,
To you?
through the office, as like a staff permit, not to P and Z.
Okay, to you.
Yep.
Okay, I was up in the air. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for helping out with that. Anything else on your end? We don't need to go to wetlands, is my understanding,
Right.
and you defined that for us. Thank you. And that's it. We haven't expended much money and Carl has not put many invoices in, so I have nothing to track. I don't know if he's seen the invoice.
And there's no preliminary, but what I'm worried about with yours is that it might not be enough. That's what I'm worried about.
Instead of focus.
But has he said
No,
anything like, oh, wow?
no,
Can I have
no,
one
oh, wow
inquiry?
moments yet.
In that plan that you had for River Road, did that include upgrading the video security there?
No,
No,
Cause that's a real problem. My wife's car was smashed into and her pocketbook was stolen out of there while she was walking the track
wow,
that.
in broad daylight.
I heard about that.
wow.
That was awful, sorry.
And there was nothing on the security because the cameras for some reason weren't running.
They didn't have cameras there?
I didn't know they had cameras. Yeah,
There's a sign that says you're being videotaped.
Right.
I'm not sure the cameras are operable. I have a rec meeting tonight. I'll voice your concerns to the
Okay,
committee.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and that- we have talked about it and your incident did come up to the committee and we're very sorry that happened. So we'll talk about it again tonight.
I think there was a blind spot where Claudia had parked.
Hmm?
I think there was a blind spot on the camera where Claudia had parked,
That might have been it.
because the state police did come and review the footage.
There's gotta be some way to cover that whole parking area.
You're like, right, that's.
that is crazy.
There was an issue and that might have been it. That might have been it.
I think that's what it
I don't
was,
remember. Thank you.
but that's still scary. I mean, it's broad daylight and somebody has the nerve to do that.
You get on the other side of that track and
Well, that's what would
they
happen.
got a good 5 minutes to do what they want.
Yeah.
I'm down there frequently with my dog.
Okay, well, that's a good update. You're making progress.
Progress, yeah, I'm very happy about that.
Okay, good.
Hoping we'd be a little quicker, but apparently not.
Yeah. ARPA 21 is the fuel bank and the household heating. We originally appropriated 25,000 for that and then added another 10,000 for this current winter that we're in. And,
We are using it.
you are.
I don't know how much we've used so far, though.
Mm-hmm.
I have, 10,000 left. Out of the total of 35.
There's still 10.
Yeah, cause that's the additional 10.
Yeah.
That was probably approved for now.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's another one where, maybe we're gonna wanna put some more money in for next year.
I would love to be able to ask for that,
Yeah,
because it's definitely necessary.
yeah,
People call in a panic and you don't know what to do, and they've exhausted access, and Operation Fuel is not running right now. They're hoping to get it back running this month, but it's not running right now, so
wow,
people are kind of finding themselves in a pickle when they can't come up with funds on their own to.
mhm. The only thing that concerns me with this is that it will end eventually. And then you're gonna have a year where it's like nothing. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Donations.
Yeah, yeah.
Has the town ever funded that account?
I don't know that.
And or should
No.
they? It's a budget question more than a.
Yeah.
question. you're right, the ARPA money's going away,
Yeah,
and if the need is still there, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's been donations in the past. I think.
Yeah.
donations. Yeah. well,
Like the
But
whole
fuel,
nation.
fuel is expensive and it's not getting any cheaper. So,
Yeah, I feel like with donations, it used to be in like the $5,000 range, I think,
Yeah.
a year.
If that.
And, I don't remember it ever running out or being a big issue. So we,
in past years, Access has given more money, but now they're not giving as much money. Now that COVID is over, in their mind, they're not getting as much money. They don't have as much funds to give away. So that's when people are coming back to me and saying, I don't have any oil, but it's a one-time deal.
yeah.
So you either use it before the season hits or in the middle of the season.
Do
So,
we advertise in the newsletter
um,
that we're looking for donations?
I feel like there was something in there for that.
Just check on it.
Somebody just asked me about it, actually. They saw it
Okay,
somewhere
Good.
and said, oh, is this? They just needed clarification about what it was and that, because they said, didn't ARPA give money? That's why they asked me.
But
And I
we
said,
can't-
yeah, but
We
I
can't
know.
continually rely on
Right,
ARPA money.
right,
We-
that's what I
we
said.
need Funds from the people. Usually at the Board of Selectmen meetings, it's brought up in Good and Welfare. If you are wanting to donate funds, please consider donating to the food pantry and the fuel bank. And really, we need the fuel bank right now.
I wonder if there's a community misperception that ARPA is gonna continue to fund that.
And there could be.
I mean, I don't know, like the average person on the street even knows about ARPA.
Yeah.
But also, like, it just seems like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that have happened in the last couple of years that have changed the whole way this is done.
Yeah.
So we just need to think about that and how it will, what it'll look like in 2028. So, yeah, so that's it. But for now, we're good.
Okay, yes, we are.
All right. And ARPA 23, the summer camp, that's very similar to the senior center coordinator position. It's gonna run itself out in this fiscal year, actually. ARPA 27 is the building materials for the park structure maintenance, which is the wetlands, no, the Conservation Commission. So when it says park structure, it means the Ruby Fenton Park and the other hiking trails and stuff. So they had already said that was gonna take several years to spend, but it's only $3,500 and they'll probably spend every penny. So we're not gonna get any money back from that we can count on. Our public hearing expenses, that's ARPA 29. As far as I know, we probably won't have another public hearing because we do have a couple of projects that are in the I don't know, what if you'd say advance? I don't know what word it is, but they've been heard at public hearing and they're just waiting for us to approve someday if we have the money. And, so I don't know that we're gonna need to, but there's $980 left there if we do. And then ARPA 30, the call for service at Button Hill, which Don is here, you can tell us
If
about.
I may comment on
Yes.
that. I sent you an email on it, Christina.
Yep.
As an update. Unfortunately, the system as it came in for the RFP came in $10,000 over what ARPA has budgeted for us based on our estimated cost. And actually, the company that we used to estimate the cost went from their $53,000 to a recently revised cost of $82,000
Oh my God.
for the same system.
Oh,
Plus they want, 8 plain old telephone service lines, which are kind of becoming antiquated from my understanding, so.
Also incur long-term cost for those.
Right, and we got rid of those when we went to the mesh system. So we will probably purchase it from, Fire Alarm Specialty Design. They came in at that $63,000 price. Now, we haven't gone back to them and saying, how much more is it? because we didn't wanna invite that conversation.
Mhm.
But, you know, we're willing to kick in something towards it if we need to, but we would appreciate if ARPA could kick in as much as they can afford to, and you don't know what that is now. You know, we've got money in reserve for replacement, but we've already got 2 water heaters that have gone bad at $4,000 each, and we got 116 grand in our reserve, so there's not a ton of money there. So at some point, we would love to be approved for $10,000 more, but I don't, is that a separate application? Is the application still online?
Well, I think because we've done this with one other project with the heating, where we increased it. And I don't think you need to reapply. I think it's, I think we would just need to make a motion to increase it using contingency funds.
But I do have a question. If you have to install phone lines, that's a recurring cost? Like are you guys going to, you're gonna have to pay for the phone service?
We're not gonna go with the company that came in at 82,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought
Yeah.
both, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they just, you know, they came in and bought
Got it.
28 grand more,
Okay.
and so by the way, you gotta go back and incur a bunch of monthly expenses, so.
Yeah.
We'll probably do fire alarm specialty devices, because they are actually the only company that came in on our RFP. We sent it out to 5 companies, and one of them responded. So that's probably the company we will go with, and if we can get it money, that would be great. And still, I will say that if there is money left at the end, we would still like to come back and request some funds, if for nothing else, to operate the sewage pump that is powered by one of our buildings, a generator for at least that building, so that when we get an extended power outage for some reason, we can pump the sewage uphill versus having it spill out where it shouldn't. So we'll probably, I don't know whether there's still apps on the portal or not, Mike.
It's not currently active, I don't think.
Okay.
Right?
That was my.
No,
We're not accepting any.
yeah, we're not accepting
Okay.
anything.
So when you do determine you can accept, we will come back and see if, you know, if there's some amount of money, be it $15,000. I'm guessing for a small generator and a transfer switch to put into building 12 so we can power the sewage uphill.
Okay.
Going back to the 10,000, how long are you willing to wait to see if we have the money?
Probably not too long.
I mean, I'd hate for you to be hit with another price increase
Yeah.
by holding off. And
We did put 50,000 in a contingency fund. For basically
I
this
know
scenario. So, we might have used a little bit of that.
Yeah, we used 10.
Yeah, we used 10 of the
So we had
50,
40.
we have 40 left. But we do know that there's gonna be probably over $100,000 that we haven't approved yet.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would say just increase it so we can get moving on it, so.
Shouldn't we ask him to get an actual formal quote? Cause if we increase by 10 and then it comes back at 11.5, we haven't really gotten him anywhere. So
That's
if he has we should probably have something in front of us so that we are increasing it no more or less than we need to,
Mhm.
I would think,
Yeah,
so that we don't have to come back at some point, especially if we're not gonna meet regularly.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, cause we were actually, after we got whacked with the $28,000 increase, we're reluctant to go back to fire alarm specialty devices and say, well, what's your new quote? We just kind of, hopefully we can go back to them and say, we'll take that for 63. So, and I, you know, if we need to, we can cover it and keep our fingers crossed that a month or 2 from now, at your next meeting, you approve the additional contingency funds.
Mhm.
We could probably do that. Just as anecdotally, 6 days ago, I found myself on the bathroom floor with a dizzy spell and I couldn't get up. And, I ended up sleeping there for a few hours and it resolved itself. But I started thinking about Button Hill while I'm down there saying, you know, we've been fortunate so far. And that the only time somebody needed help that that I'm aware of right now, although I'm sure there are other times the ambulance has been there many times, was, one of our tenants, called for help because he was dizzy. And the tenant upstairs hurt him through the floor, fortunately. But I don't want to depend upon good fortune for much longer. So we may move on it quickly and hope the board still feels benevolent at the next meeting, and when we find out what it's gonna cost.
Yeah, I mean, we can just sort of ask if everyone thinks that sounds like a good idea, if he comes back with it, would that, everyone feel okay about that? All right, so we have like, you know,
General.
a good feeling about doing that, so.
You need an updated written quote, and how long are they gonna hold that price? I know some of the vendors we deal with, some of them won't give prices for 2 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks. It's not the same as they used to be, well, 6 months, you know.
Mhm.
Later.
Yeah, so Don, if you get it and you need it like immediately, we can call a special meeting to do that.
Okay, I mean, alternatively, we could pull the money out of our reserves, for our water heaters and our roofing and so on, and then replace that later on as well.
Yeah.
I don't think, we can't replace it with ARPA.
Oh, yeah, you
We can't reimburse through ARPA funds.
Okay. So maybe a special meeting
Yeah,
is inconvenient as it may be the solution. Okay.
yeah,
So we'll work
yeah, it all
on it.
depends on your timing.
We're actually gonna set our meeting schedule after we do these, so
Yeah.
stick around, maybe get a date
You'll
in mind.
know when
And
the
then
next one is?
call and say, we need it, can you lock in the price until this date?
Okay.
Do that too. Or we'll just.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that's good, we'll move forward, that's moving forward, sounds like. The ARPA 31 Historical Society archival storage. I don't think we've heard anything on that. You haven't
I
seen
haven't heard
anything?
anything and they haven't spent anything.
Yeah, I don't even think they got a quote yet. They saw Bob Shabbat, a couple weeks ago, and he said something he told me, but I don't think
Like,
they,
they're aware of it,
yes, they
okay,
were aware, but it was just an informal conversation.
all right, I'll reach out to them and tell them that now the clock is ticking. So.
Yeah.
ARPA 33, we just closed, thank you, Ed. ARPA 39A, the repair of the library building structure. So this was expected to be done in the spring. I heard back from, I think it was Deb, sent me an email saying that it has been held up. They're hoping to do it once it gets warm this spring. So, so nothing's been spent on that one yet. ARPA 41, the stove, we just talked about that one. ARPA 43, recess equipment. The last time we met, only 500 something dollars had been spent, but have they done anything more, Donna?
Yes, they spent $3,000.
Okay, 3,000 out of the 6.
Actually 3,500 out of the 6. I think one school is fully done.
Okay,
There's 3,000.
I think
each
Paul
school.
School had spent all theirs.
Yeah.
And I think Center School, still had a little bit left to spend.
okay, all right, but they're using it,
Yeah, they definitely are.
all right. And it's also, that's another one that's not a lot of money that we're gonna have to deal with,
Yeah.
have available to us, so we can't worry about that one too much. The extended learning opportunities, $20,000. That's another Board of Ed one. How much have they spent of that?
So last year they spent 6,000. It was 10,000 each school, but this year they didn't spend anything yet.
Okay. They're aware of it though. ARPA 45, the Economic Development Strategic Plan.
So that was bid and it was awarded in December. So, consultant was selected. So we'll be moving forward with sort of kicking the project off now that the holidays are over.
Oh, awesome. And did it come in under the 40?
It came in on budget,
Okay,
so we are gonna sign basically a not to exceed, because there's some stuff that's more of a that's time-based.
mhm,
So it will be maximum at the amount allocated.
okay. All right, so that, we're not gonna have a lot coming back from that either. ARPA 46, E-code 360, that's the,
We transmitted all the documents, all the code information to general code, so they're doing their analysis. We did, I think we had one payment of $9.95 or something like that. But, so that's on schedule and on budget.
okay. And then ARPA 47 is the facility study that we were talking with Peter about in the very beginning of the meeting. Which we're gonna try to find some detail for him on what that is, because he wasn't aware of it. So, but the Board of Selectmen has $50,000 approved for a facility study. That was approved back in March of last year, so I do think something was done, so I just wanna make sure.
I don't recall.
No. Okay,
I don't.
I know, it's awful, I know, I would have said that, it was
It was like a
September,
long time ago.
yeah. All right, so that's it, so that's where we're at with all of our projects, and then we, I haven't updated our colorful sheet that shows, you know, how much has been spent and all that, but I will. We were tracking to be able to approve both of the projects that were in abeyance. I think it really, I think the big wild card here is the track. And whether or not that's gonna be enough money for it. Or maybe it won't be as expensive as we think, and we'll have an extra $100,000 or something. You never know. You can guess though, which way that's gonna be.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, out of 220, that's half.
yeah,
The timing is everything, of course, that if ARPA didn't have the money to do that, whatever the increase may be, CIP will probably be your next step.
yeah,
But it is CIP season, and, if we don't hear back from Carl and have some estimates, we don't have anything to work on that side.
yeah,
And then you have to either squeeze it into the budget the next month or so, or wait all another year.
yeah.
I'm optimistic
All right, good.
that
Good,
it's all gonna work.
okay, then it will. All right, well, so the next thing on the agenda is the future of the ARPA Commission. So what I was thinking is that we don't need to meet every 2 weeks anymore. Maybe we wanna meet once a month. Maybe we wanna meet once every 2 months and have special meetings as needed.
Yeah, I would think that'd be fine.
Yeah,
If something comes up,
yeah.
we're small enough town, we can pull together a quick meeting if something needed action on it, but,
Yeah. Does that sound good to everybody?
So we would set it as like the first, what is this, the
The first-
second Monday? Second Monday of the month as needed?
Yeah, it was the first Monday. It's just because of the holiday, we ended up.
Oh,
And that's happened a few times
Yeah,
with Mondays.
Yeah, the holidays.
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, I guess if we say second Monday, that could still happen.
Or you could even do like odd months, so you at least kind of have some kind of structure, or even months, whatever.
Well, let me just do a really, I can quickly look.
like
The next one would be, if we did that March. It was the first Monday, it would be the 4th. If we did the second Monday, it would be the 11th. Those aren't holidays in March, May, then it would be May 6th. Or May 13th, which are not holidays. Then it would be July 4th. July 1st is the first.
I think that gets us through half the year though, so
Yeah.
between now and then, I'm sure we'll meet and. we
Yeah.
can-
Yeah, so,
So March, May, July, September, November.
yep.
Okay, and you're doing it first Monday or the second?
Well, so when I was looking at March, I personally can't be here on March 4th. I don't know if I can be here I can't be here either, because we're on vacation. But.
Okay, then.
So
What are we looking at,
so
Christine?
then that would be,
February.
yeah, maybe we should do one in February, just to, because we know this is coming up, we might know something from you too. We could do February 5th.
A little soon for me.
That's a little soon,
Next week, maybe after the
February 5th, yeah,
following week.
it's the 12th,
How's that?
that's good. February 12th, and then we could go February 12th, April 8th,
So the second Monday.
yeah. Yeah,
The 12th, the 8th,
April 8th. Then June 10th,
no May.
no May, because
Okay,
we
June
skip
10th,
it,
you said?
yep.
Okay.
Then it would be August 12th. And October 14th. And December 9th.
And what's the February day?
The 12th. The 12th. That's good. That's good too, because we're gonna start CIP this week and be meeting them every week. Up, for the next month, basically, so if something came up at CIP where we thought we might wanna ask for ARPA funds for it. I don't know what we would do, because we've closed our application process, but, I don't know, who knows? But we'd have the opportunity if we needed it.
They said ARPA has about 100,000.
I think so. Is that right, Donna?
And how much are the pending requests or projects that we would consider?
Let me get my chart. Tracker. I updated it in October. Yeah, so, okay, so just to recap everything, our total ARPA funds were $1.7 million, 1.735. We have appropriated more than that because we knew, stuff wasn't gonna cost that much. So we appropriated 1.773. We have $38,000 remaining. We had 160 returned from completed projects. Our contingency is at 40, so we have 82,000 available to appropriate. Then, we have 111 in new and tabled requests. So yeah, we don't have enough,
So I don't think there's much as any money there that
no.
CIP could refer.
I have no
projects here.
surplus.
No. And those two projects are, one is for the library and one is for the school for the playground. So that's where I'm thinking, the school might submit for the playground to CIP, and CIP is gonna say, oh, it's, just have it covered by ARPA. Or the library could do the same. But we only have 82,000 right now that we could allocate to that. So,
I think we probably wanna know what the park improvements are gonna cost before we, cause there's no plan B for that.
no,
There's no operating expenses or, it's not like they generate income and could pull it from another place, and so we wouldn't want that whole project to stall. I mean, like other projects that we have in our office, these material costs are going up. Even just fuel, if there's mobilization in some of those costs, it's gonna be different.
yeah.
So even at 10 or 20%, that's most of what we have left.
Mhm.
I don't know that we would wanna allocate much more until they were ready to go.
Right,
This week.
And didn't the school got separate ARPA funds for the school, right? But was that for like other things that they couldn't use for like?
Yeah, I forgot what that was. They couldn't use it for things like this, though.
I was hoping maybe they could fall back.
Yeah, I mean, the CIP, in that process, there are other funding sources for things, for all of these things. It's just, our idea from the very beginning was to use ARPA to offload some of those CIP costs, just to help us out, so, and they have. So, yeah, that's where we're at. That 82 is gonna, if we did the extra 10 for this, that's. We're back.
So we had 10 for, if we did 10 for that, we already allocated 10 to the fuel.
That's included in that 82,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So we'd be at 72. Oh, no. Yeah.
And looking at what's open,
You didn't have the head for the,
unknown.
but no.
Remaining minus contingency plus return, yeah. I didn't, I wasn't sure if that included that. Yeah, so,
And the facility study was, again, I think just an earmark, like a hold. We don't actually have a proposal for
yeah,
that. So that's a question mark. The park project is a question mark.
I'm confused, there's a facility study from the selectmen,
Mhm.
Mike McCoo was pushing it. And then there's one from the previous first selectman, brought up months ago, about a $50,000 facility
That's
study.
what we're talking about, that one.
That one,
that one.
okay.
So she, I think at one of the meetings, Erica asked that we just allocate $50,000 so they could pursue this because of some of the other discussions, but I don't think they've actually spoken to a vendor. They were gonna try to mirror the scope that Mansfield had, and they took what Mansfield's scope was and what their cost was and said, well, we have approximately this, so therefore we think it'll be 50. But I don't think we have any bids, so I'm not sure we have any idea what that would cost either.
Right.
Yeah, the biggest part of that homework is getting the scope of what our request would be.
You're right,
Yeah,
done nothing.
so I think,
That's supposed to be for town buildings?
yeah,
Okay, cause I know Mike McCoo was pushing for a facility study for the fire departments.
But that would fall under, the fire department fall under facility study.
I don't know what Erica considered, if those were town buildings, if they were part of that or not. And I don't know if Mike is asking for a facility study or a needs
They
assessment.
were separate.
So it's like.
I believe they were separate.
Library.
Cause the fire department
Public Works
owns their own
garage.
buildings, the town does not own their buildings. That was my understanding.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
That generally hasn't been the hangup in previous years. The town has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on maintenance on those buildings.
Right.
And, even the contract that's between the fire departments and the, town says if the town pays for it, the town owns it. Now legally, there's a deed that says they're owned by the fire departments, but there's also a contract that says if, the town spent $100,000 on a roof, I guess they own the roof or something like that, so the precedent has been made that the town realistically is supporting the maintenance on those buildings.
Right.
I think Erica's request on the, facility study was similar to the school MCOR mechanical study of what are the short and long-term, maintenance, large ticket maintenance requests will be coming. Be it the dog pound down, garage, the fire departments, this building, whatever it is. In an effort to plan both at the CIP level and at the budget level, in 2 years, we gotta replace another boiler, as well as the school
Mhm.
list need to be updated as well.
yeah,
This facility study, I think Mike McCoo talked about, someone had to do with location
Yeah.
and response times and things like that, which is totally separate
Yeah.
scope, and I believe both the previous board of selectmen and the current board of selectmen have tabled that at the moment, according to the minutes I read, that they haven't taken any action on it.
yeah, and that one, there's no funding source. No, yeah, for that,
Yes.
yep. So,
Just wanted to make a case in point, because I'm not sure I heard you correct or not, but just that Button Hill is not eligible for CIP funds since it's not a town-owned building. So our funds come from our own generated profits, for lack of a better term. Right, generated by our rent. So, we can't go to CIP. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So, thank you for your consideration.
Yeah. Okay, well, so I'm gonna make a motion that we set our calendar to be the second Monday of every month, starting in February.
So after February, we meet everyone.
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, so that's the plan right now. And, we will see you all in February. Yes, I will.
Dan put in.
I will.
Thank you.
What else? That's future, present to speak. And I'm wondering,
I'm satisfied with our discussion.
okay? You're good?
I'm all set. I just, while you were talking, I went out and priced out those items and we're talking $200.95.
Okay, perfect.
Order them up.
Yep.
I'll take the opportunity. If we do come back at some point in time to power the sewage ejector pump, with a generator, that would require you to probably, the commission to know where they stand at some point in time with funds and so on. Right now, my understanding, listening to the conversation, was it's tight.
It's tight. Yeah, I think the net of where we are is that we have about $72,000 that's not allocated yet. We have $111,000 in requests that have already been vetted, and that we're just waiting to approve until we have the funds available. So, and that's why we closed it to new submissions, because anything new, we won't have the money for.
Okay.
That's,
At the very least, you should probably get a quote,
Yeah,
just some miracle money falls off the tree and,
yeah,
that you'd be ready to go with something like that.
What, which building is this at,
building 12.
and it's not Gravity, that's the only one that has a pump? in it?
Well, it's gravity to the sewage ejector pump, which is near the senior center, but it's fed from the panel in building 12. So if we get a power outage, the pump doesn't turn on.
So I'm confused, so there's a pump, right now, there's two pumps right now, like behind the senior center, that pump the water
Right. And then
into
go ahead.
into the leach field. So those are the ones you wanna try to put a generator?
Yeah, that's one to supply those with power, which comes from building 12 right now.
Cause we're replacing those pumps tomorrow.
They go bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that why that light goes on all the time?
Yeah, so they're being replaced, no, Wednesday, sorry, thinking my days and stuff there.
yeah.
Been a long weekend.
So what's that?
It's Wednesday that they're gonna be replaced,
Oh,
not
okay.
tomorrow, I'm lost in my days, it's been a long weekend, so.
Yeah.
So
just
both
feel like
pumps
it's-
fail then?
Now, well, there's two pumps in there, they're gonna replace one for right now, and then they're gonna do the other one after. But, alright, I was thinking that there was a pump in the, like the little condos themselves over there.
No,
That was pumping, cause that's what I was questioning.
I don't know why they didn't power it from the senior center,
That, right, yeah.
and that's the engineers. I tell you.
All right, well, with that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'll see you all second Monday of February.